All right, well, it's 6:02. I think we can start. So just looking at the agenda, I don't see Dinah, so agenda, the meeting minutes, they're on my list of things to do. Any mail or correspondence, Bob? You're on mute. Nope. We'll come back to Bob. Sherry, anything update on the school?
Not since we last met.
Okay, got it.
Okay, there you go. Back to mail correspondence.
Mark,
Yes.
can you hear me now?
Yes.
I hate these damn things. I can't get in the town hall. It's closed with that virus. There's only a few people working in there.
Okay.
So there's no that I know of.
All right. No school department updates. And that leads us to Town Hall Community Center. So I know Dinah sent around a revised update from DBVW. I think everyone got correct the email.
Yes.
I don't know, Mike, you want to, or Anna, walk us through that update?
Yeah. I share screen.
Sure.
First of all, Happy New Year to everyone.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
You too, Mark.
I assume you can see my screen, everyone?
Yeah.
Yep.
So some of this you've of course seen before. We did flip the plan here, which you'll see. Starting here with the senior center, or what we're now calling the senior center, and what are we?
Community center.
Norton Senior and Community Support Center. So this is just an overall plan with some notes and sort of how we got to the parking requirements. I'm just going to flip forward, which kind of is the same plan, but just closer up so you can see things a little bit better. For the most part, the building outline hasn't changed, but we've substantially, changed the whole parking layout. You can see we're showing, you can see a bus at scale here, just to give you a sense of size. I think there's plenty of room on this site for, the bus to sort of drop off, pick up people in a variety of places, depending on what's happening. We've also shown here, you can see, a semi-trailer truck here. We've designed this entrance. I'm going to just sketch here a little bit.
You on, Jim?
You can see here, you can see the semi-truck here. We've actually designed this so the semi-truck can pull in here and actually back up like this here and back into here. So there's plenty of room. I think it's probably possible that we can even get this to work so a semi could come in this way and pull around and back in. So in any case, there's really plenty of space here for a semi at this point. We've included, I think it's 62 parking spaces. We have a variety of handicap spaces. We have a few in the front here. We have a few on the side, which overall should be relatively convenient. The main entrance is here. And if you wanted additional parking, it could be added along here. This whole edge could be parking. We're just trying to, keep the site work, not get too, to keep it to a minimum if we can. There's certainly already a lot of pavement here, and there's a lot of cost in this site work. But again, if you wanted additional parking, it certainly would be possible to add it without any trouble. I think for the most part that presents the site information. You can see we're showing how utilities would come in off of Mansfield Ave.
Everything's underground, Mike. You can underground electric.
Correct. Everything will be underground. There's on-site septic here in the back. Mhm. Does anyone have questions? And I'll move on to the plan. Let me just stop
Pretty
here.
good.
Looks good.
All right. So the plan, we tried to address all the comments that were raised last week, or actually, I guess 2 weeks ago. Let me get my pen here back here in just a second. Here we go. I think you can see that we've kind of revised this area quite a bit. We've got the conference room, so it can be entered off the main corridor, or it could be entered from within the
Get on
administration.
here.
People can also enter into the admin suite from this door that's been added. We made a few tweaks over here, kind of flipped things around a little bit. We added a drinking fountain. But for the most part, the plan has not changed significantly other than the administration area. Whoops, forgive me here. There's always a little, and it disappears.
Do I see an addition of a outside overhang near the entrance to the pantry, the food pantry? Is that what the?
You absolutely do. You see a few columns and a roof that would cover here, and that's going to show up really well in the rendering that's coming up.
Okay, thank you.
Whoops, here we go. So this is the view from the front. You can see the main entrance and the covered drop off. And then I'm going to just flick forward one more, and you can see here, at the left edge, the pantry with the added roof, and so we think that should work. It's pretty simple to create, and we think that should work pretty well.
Great, thank you.
Trying to think of any other things I should. It would probably be it would be wood construction with wood trusses, asphalt shingle roof. Nowadays we tend to do clapboards not in wood, but we do them with fiber cement, like a Hardy clapboard. Hardy is a manufacturer. These products today they hold paint really well. They're affordable, and they last a good long time. Are there any questions on the community center?
Looks good to me, Mike.
I think it looks good job.
Yeah, you did a great job. It looks really nice.
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
I did a good job with a plan, and it's all gonna look good.
Thank you. All right, so moving on to town hall. You've all seen this view before. Just going to click forward again. This is kind of an overview of the site with a number of comments to the left. Sort of how we arrived at the parking. And I'm just going to click forward one more, and you can see a better close up. So again, the layout hasn't changed significantly. We've made a few improvements. We're showing how utilities would come in off of East Main Street. VHB, our consultant, has kind of looked into the improvements being made along East Main Street and tried to coordinate where we would have to add sidewalks and things, and assuming that the construction work that's taking place now will be completed by the time this happens, and you can see our impositions into that into those ongoing improvements being made now. We've made we think a substantial improvement to the library parking. Right now, the parking is angled parking, and it's all very tight, and the way you enter into the library is, I think, quite compromised. So in this case, we think there's plenty of space to create kind of standard 90-degree parking. We should be able to make the entrance much more approachable. We've kept this sort of exit lane out to East Main Road. One of the key things I'd like you to notice is that we've kind of eliminated a lot of the parking that occurs around the fire department to try to get the fire department not to just be in a sea of pavement. We've included some handicap parking so that it can, be available to those visiting the fire department. There's an overhead door on the side here, and so that's what you're seeing here is, a roadway connection to that door. All the entrance into the site, all of this has pretty much remained the same. I'm not. Oh, so we've included handicap parking here. We've discussed. I know one of the comments is it's a little bit of concern over the distance of the handicap parking to the entry. This is not. I mean, it's not right at the curb, but we think it's reasonably close. We could look at other options to try to create some parallel handicap parking here. Or perhaps these are things that can be worked on, kind of the next stage. We have kept the drive lane, the straight drive lane out for the police department. And as you can see, the police department has pretty much been, it kind of exists on its own with its own parking and its own, way out.
Mike, I got a question for you. Mike,
Yes, hi, Bob.
I see a grinder pump there. Are they gonna pick up all the sewage from the whole area and pump it across the street?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
you're-
do gravity feed all down to there and then pump from one spot.
To where?
To the force main. You can see it coming out here, so the force main is, I forget, is the system to the north, I guess.
Would that be across the street?
I would have to ask VHB.
Does it run
I
up?
know there's a forced main across the street, and it runs towards Wheaton College. I'm just wondering if they're gonna tie in there.
I have another email that I can look up to try to figure that out.
I think
For
that can
some
be.
reason, I think they think it's to the north here, not to the south, and that's why it's coming out this way.
You're gonna pick up the police station and the fire station and the town hall? How about the,
You can see the attempt to gravity feed everything down to here, down to this
Good.
point,
you're gonna get everything?
and then pump
Right.
one time out.
Beautiful, good, that's good.
Mike, I have a question, Jim Slattery.
Hey, Jim.
You eliminated all the parking in front of the fire station where the town hall used to be. The fire chief just remodeled the whole fire station and put the administrative secretary and everything at the front of the building. Now you have, I believe, 3 handicap parkings at the rear of the building. I'm not sure if the elevator goes all the way down. I don't remember because I don't take it from the ground floor. But as far as being handicapped accessible from the back, getting into where everything is going to be somewhat of a maze because of the partial building and everything else. I was wondering if there's any way of keeping 3 or 4 spots in the front for administrative use and people coming in for fire permits or smoke alarm testing or whatever.
We're kind of trying to minimize the amount. I mean, we're adding curb cuts to East Main Street, and we're trying to kind of simplify things and not have so many, curb cuts. And so ideally, we wouldn't need to keep this parking. One of the challenges is there's going to be a significant grade change from here to the front. In fact, we had first tried to have handicap parking here, but because of the grade change, I just don't think it's workable. So
Okay,
that's that.
I didn't think of parking over there and walking. I'm sorry. It's just much of a walk. Okay, that would probably be fine to me.
Yeah.
At least they have access to the front of the building where the new administrative office is in the front and the flow of the building right now. I don't know what the chief's going to do once we knock down the old building and he has the other half. That's internal to him.
Yeah. I mean, in our plan, we're assuming that we're putting a wall up, but not finishing anything, right? We're not really making renovations to the inside of the fire department.
Well, technically, there's offices on the first and second floor that will stay, that are part of the new
Yes,
addition. The veterans office, I believe, is there, and upstairs is the Board of Health, and I can't think of what else is up there, but the lunchroom is on that side, and a couple other things.
yeah. You know, I expect there would be a couple of steps here, just so you know. You know, you could park here, but you'd have to go up a few steps to get to the entrance.
Thank you.
I'm going to click forward. So the floor plans, we've gone ahead and reworked Veterans Services, so it now is connected to an outside wall. We can now get daylight into the space. We made the space larger as well, Veterans Services, that is. You can see that we've reworked this whole zone off the public meeting room has been completely reworked. We've adjusted restrooms a little bit. Another key thing you'll see that's happening a little more than the first plans that we presented, and I can't specifically remember which departments, but we're doing more sharing of the kind of public areas. You can see we've got shared service counters here. We think this is the most efficient way we think it just becomes more efficient than each department having its own individual kind of, area where the public would go to a service counter. Now they can come into one space and there can be two service counters sharing that space.
Mike, I don't know if it's because of security reasons, but that purple, it's purple on my screen. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's purple, yes.
You seem to have a small door. Is there any reason that couldn't be an open mini lobby in there and you go to the two windows as such, or security, you want a small door to be able to?
Let me make sure. The idea is that the public would come through this door, and this would kind of be the public zone, and they could go to this service counter or this service counter. And in the case if they needed to visit the vault or come in the back, they can come through this door if they were having a meeting.
I understand all that. I just think that the petitions at the very front, you have a one door access. It could be wide open and just continue this hallway and just have the security parts, the windows, but whatever.
You're saying this could be, you're saying the door could be here, Jim?
No, he's
So just take down the wall.
He's saying the door into the purple space, Mike.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's possible. That is possible. And then there could be security at the service counter. Yes.
Right, you'd have to have a secure drop down window, right?
Yes,
At
that
night.
could be possible. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go to the second floor. The concept of sharing is furthered here. We kind of reworked out the conservation, parks and recreation. We reworked the bathroom areas here in the copy. And I think this is all working much better. We're getting better use out of the square footage, more efficient usage. Again, so this is a shared space, and with a service counter here and here. Same happens here, and here. I would like to review Board of Health with someone, but this is completely updated, and it'd be good to get feedback on the layout. Mm-hmm. But there should be plenty of space here, to move things around if necessary.
Could you just go back to the first floor, Mike?
Sure.
Since Estelle's on, did the veterans area got moved around a little bit? I know she had some concerns. It looks like it got pushed to the back.
It looks pretty nice.
Yeah.
Got a window in it too.
Estelle's on, right? I think I saw her.
Yeah, we can have daylight
I
here,
am.
daylight to the office. Mhm.
That layout look a little better?
It does. Instead of being on the interior.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Okay.
Here's a view of the front.
Nice.
The idea that there would be kind of this public plaza in the front, landscaped, places for people to come out and enjoy lunch perhaps, or obviously it creates good public space. Structure we're thinking would be all wood. We can do this with some of what we're doing now is we're building wood buildings using parallel strand lumber, PSL studs, which are engineered wood studs. They're dry. There's no issues with shrinking. The roof would be wood trusses. Very standard, very cost-effective wood trusses. They could be attic trusses, and so mechanicals and others can be installed in this. What's going to be a very large attic. In this case, it would be a warm attic. We would actually insulate the underside of the roof sheathing. So all the mechanicals, all the ductwork, equipment, things, everything will be in a warm space, which I think just makes things more efficient and should make things last longer. Mm-hmm. Asphalt shingles, brick. The windows we're proposing would be aluminum clad wood windows.
Mike, just one question.
Mm-hmm.
We're in village commercial, right? Wasn't there a height restriction? I assume we're okay. Isn't there a height restriction in that zone?
There is a height restriction, and I'm sure there is, and I will double check it. Mm-hmm.
There was no rezoning we had to do, was there, with this?
There are some zoning issues, yes, there definitely are. Bear with me a minute, I can try to.
That's right, I just remember there was,
There are some special exception things. There's a few things that need to occur. Mm-hmm. Other than that, I have the stuff that we presented at the last meeting, just in case people had additional questions about the partial demolition of existing town hall. That's tonight's presentation. Mm-hmm.
Any questions from anyone?
I think it looks pretty good.
Jim, no questions?
As my standpoint, it's gonna look good and pretty soon gonna be inside to take all the notes at the brand new town hall and it looks spanking brand good. Looks good.
Thanks, speed up. So we're at January 4th, just looking at the schedule. You had task 5 in your scope to finalize the conceptual design around January 18th. I'm not sure, you may have some more tweaks to do. Cost estimating hopefully is underway, February 8th, or should soon be.
Mm-hmm.
February 8th. And then we had a presentation. Oh, Dinah's on. Dinah, you made it. You can take over if you want. And then the select board presentation on February 11th. Jack, I don't know if we got on the agenda yet or not.
We'll make sure that gets accommodated.
And that's on a Thursday, right?
Yep.
And that's it's all Zoom anyways, right?
Yep.
Mike and Anna, I assume you're available.
Yes.
Can I ask a question? On the town hall, do you think some of the managers that work in that building have a look at the plan so that they have any concerns about the way it's laid out or if things could be made better? Could bring it up to Dave and to Mike and make some adjustments to if need be.
We can. Keep in mind, it's still conceptual.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And I assume it's based on the program study you did.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing we want to make sure is that we have enough space. We can always move the parts
Right.
around. We want to make sure we have enough space because obviously that impacts cost, And so if various departments do want to take a peek at things and just, give us a sense that, it feels like there's sufficient space, that would be helpful. Mhm. Again, just to confirm that, we've got the right amount of space. Mhm.
Mike, question. Are you gonna be talking to any of these managers that run these offices at all?
It wasn't my intention, no.
I was just thinking you were asking questions on the Board of Health, and you were talking about maybe talking to one of them people. It might be a good idea because they got some nursing quarters and stuff they got to get squared away there.
Yeah. I mean, what would be helpful for us is if the plans would be shared with them, and if they could. I mean, I'm happy to have a Zoom meeting with folks. That's very easy for me to do.
What?
They could comment on what we've prepared, and then we can certainly try to make some changes if necessary.
All right. What my train of thought is, once you get the final, or pretty near the final thing, give me a set of plans somehow, so I can give it to the Chris at the Board of Health, and he can kind of play with it a little bit.
Yeah. I think that we're at the, unless there are further comments tonight, I think we're at the point that that these are
Finalized.
pretty much the 90% plans, if you will. Mm-hmm.
Well, my train of thought is then that he's going to live with it. That's it.
Well, I'm happy to make some tweaks from here. That's not a problem.
Now, the only thing I worry about is the nurses quarter.
If Dinah and Mike,
officers. Go ahead.
I shared this presentation with Dinah and Mike at about 5 o'clock tonight. And if that presentation's been shared with you, please forward that on to the department head. And, again, I'm happy to have a Zoom meeting with them. And
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
This might be a stupid comment, but at this point, I see our town manager is not on this meeting. Shouldn't he be sharing this with department heads and getting feedback from them kind of before this point?
Yeah,
Well-
sure he will. He had he had a conflicting meeting that he could not get out of this evening. He sent me an email earlier. I did send the plans out to everybody, the plans that I had this morning.
Yeah.
The ones at 5 o'clock. I'm sorry, I couldn't. I was on the road in Worcester. But yeah, I mean, I don't mind just sending Mike an email and asking him to get them out to everybody in the town hall. There's no point in not being able to review it. I think he's got them so he can share them.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I know we've been doing some of that because I got comments from him, during the day about a few things, and we made a few tweaks, and so I know he's done some of that.
All right. Dinah, I would just stress that these are conceptual.
Oh, yes.
Don't want to go down a rabbit hole of having every department head tweak it, and then we go into final design, and then it gets changed again. So it needs to be a high-level review of just the general space. I wouldn't get hung up on some of the details.
No,
I think it looks pretty good. Just a few questions, and it looks fine as far as I'm concerned.
My suggestion is if Mike could present it to the department heads as a conceptual. I mean, we have Estelle here, and I have brought up problems with that, and we each have brought up problems with different areas that we see, but it seems the department heads have not. Could we direct Mike to just inform the department heads that this is a conceptual and we would like to get some feedback, but not, I don't know how you word it, that you don't get going down the rabbit hole type thing, but if they could just give a stamp of approval of what we have, at least we know we're going down the right road and we haven't gone north when we should have gone south or something. I mean,
If I remember correctly, when we started this project out a year and a half ago, town hall staff was consulted about their space needs. Mike did meet with them. This is what the space needs are. The design has not changed that much, at minimum. So I think if it's presented as this is 90% complete,
Conception.
conceptual, speak now or forever hold your peace type.
Don't get up.
Type concept, but we don't need somebody going down, designing the camel when it wants to be a horse.
I agree with you. I mean, the people who have interested, like Estelle, like Beth, who have a vested interest in this have showed up, but there are people, I mean, Bob takes care of the Board of Health because he's on it. But I mean, there are some other people, the town clerk was on here a couple of times, but I'm sure she's down in Georgia counting votes today, but, she may have some input. For some reason, they haven't followed up, and if it's their own negligence, then I feel good about forgetting them and moving on. We don't want to hold this up anymore, but I just felt we should give them one last chance to throw a brick at us before we stop building the building.
Oh, absolutely. I will, excuse me, I will get a email off to the town manager this evening, asking him to share the plans with his department heads.
Dinah,
Yes, sir.
the only question I had was the nurse's office. She's got enough room for a bed, and she can close her door and give the inoculations that she has to give in private. That was my only concern.
Okay.
You'll see I created 2 spaces. So she has her own private space, and then there's a space to see.
Beautiful. Good job, Mike. That's what I want. I like to see.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, I'm happy. I'm happy.
Alrighty, go ahead, Mark. I'm sorry, I don't mean to step in.
That's all right. You're the boss. Going through the schedule, so we've kind of gotten up to February 11th. I think we're good. Moving forward from February 11th, we have another select board meeting to be scheduled. And then I think Mike pretty much wraps up around March 1st. And then we go into the public informational meetings, which need to be scheduled and coordinated and thought about how those are going to get done and what materials we're presenting. We're going to do boards, and there are those little handouts that you had done before. Mike, we're pretty good.
Yeah, we can do that again. We just need to do that in advance. Let us know how many copies. I think we did a few hundred the last time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I getting a little ahead of myself here? But I see nothing about a final architect or.
You're getting ahead of yourself.
You're getting ahead of yourself.
Excuse me?
Ahead of yourself.
Okay, because I mean, if we're spring town meeting to authorize expenditure of funds,
There'll be
going with what Mike proposes, and that's it.
no, if I could, Dinah.
Yes, go right ahead.
The process is we get through town meeting, get authorization of the money, and to expend those funds, the select board to expend those funds. And then Mike Units will have to put out an RFQ to select a final design architect and team, either separately or together for both buildings or independently. And that final architect needs to be selected. And then you have a whole permitting process and survey and geotech, whole process to go through for final design to prepare bid documents that can be publicly bid.
Dinah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But we're doing all this work, and we're doing a lot of work, designs and stuff. What about owning the property? How are they making out with that?
The update that I have today from the town manager is that there is a signed PNS on the Mansfield Avenue property.
That's good.
And he is in conversation with Mr. Clemmy about the town, the proposed town hall site.
Oh, that's great news.
So we
Okay,
are
good.
moving forward.
Good.
Yippee!
Good, Beth.
And for clarity, Dinah, we were able to get the seller for Mansfield Ave to agree to defer closing until after the town meeting and vote. So
Excellent.
no risk there.
Which is good because that's what we had promised the town meeting. That is excellent.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
great. Yeah.
Won't hit me in the face, so I'll be very pleased for that.
Yeah,
Good
just
work,
real
Jack.
quick, are you still looking at April 10th to go to the town election for the first vote on this?
We have not decided which way that's gonna go, if we're gonna do the town meeting or the election vote.
So if you went town meeting first, then you would have to do a special?
Yes.
Okay, so it would give us a little bit more time to promote this.
Do you have any idea when the board might be making that decision, Jack?
I do not. I try to bring it up and get some traction, but with some of the other competing priorities, it has not caught yet. So
Okay,
I believe this topic is on our agenda for the joint meeting on the 14th with the school committee and FinCom. So hopefully at that point we can get some people to commit.
and that's a January 14th meeting?
Yes. I believe that's at 6 p.m.
Okay. Thank you. I think I'll just listen.
So this doesn't, I would like to just talk about how we're gonna educate the public and roll this out to the public. Doesn't really, well, it's not really Mike and Anna's, but they'll certainly be part of it. But I know we have the working group. Is that kind of gone by the wayside? Is it back to this whole committee?
This is your working group right here.
This is it.
Well, we can get help.
So I'm still just a little not clear on how, what is the public engagement process for these two projects, or this one big project?
Well, I think we have to be clear, and a decision has to be made as to how we're moving forward. Is this 3 projects, 1 vote? Is it 3 separate projects? I think it has to be clear, because if it's 3 projects, 1 vote, then we have a lot of work to do together.
What's the 3 projects? The athletic field too, or?
Yes, that's what we've been talking about this whole time. So we need to have clear decisions as to how we're moving forward. I mean, you got to look realistically, guys. We're 3 months away from a town election.
And that's my concern. We need to start that process.
Correct.
So at this joint meeting, it's crucial that the 3 boards make a decision as to how they're going to go forward. I mean, the decision how it goes forward, whether it's 3 together or 3 separately or 2 and 1 or 7 and 9, is not up to the building committee. It's up to the Board of Selectmen school committee.
It's up to the select board.
So they need to make that decision.
Yep. We have to have some sort of a figure to go in front of the town meeting with.
Right, we will have that, but they need to decide whether they're all the projects are going together or whether they're going separately. So we're kind of, again, at their mercy for them to make a decision.
Yeah. Well, don't go in Honeydew Donuts because they'll lay all over you. They nail me every time I walk in there.
So Jack, do you think this can come up on the 14th?
Yes, I've asked.
It's something that you guys really can't kick down the road any longer, because Sherry's right, we're 3 months away.
Yep, preaching to the choir. So yeah, that's why it's on the joint agenda. So hopefully we can have a robust group discussion to get this squared away.
Okay.
All right. Well, I don't know, as far as this working group, I don't know what the thoughts are on public engagement or public outreach to different groups within town, different organizations, get the word out. Are we printing out 1,000 of Mike's booklets and passing those out? Is it a PDF?
It's going to be tough with COVID.
Yes, it is.
For these public meetings, and how many will attend a Zoom, presentation, or got to really think out of the box.
No, I agree.
Get the word
I
out.
think it's going to be more of a social media campaign.
Mhm.
I think we're going to have to use social media with everybody distributing information on their pages. But that's why once we know how we're doing this, we can start coming up with print material you know, with, I mean, where the athletic complex, we've got the field, we've got the prices. You know, you guys, you know, what we saw tonight, I mean, I'm sure you guys have to decide, you know, on the final buildings. I mean, they look unbelievable. They're very nice. I mean, it's, you know, it's hopeful that we can see something this nice in our town, you know, and we just need to start getting that on print material that we can blast everywhere on social media. COVID is absolutely going to make this harder because we're not going to have people in front of us.
Well, I was thinking that, excuse me, we can set up some Zoom meetings that are public. We did have one public one last year to decide how it was going to go before the spring, summer, whenever we were all on the football field the last time. That was very well attended with about 50 or 60 people on the Zoom call. We can also utilize public access TV. So those are two ways. If we can get these this presentation out on Facebook, on Norton Neighbors and, you know, Norton, I'm sorry, I'm having a brain melt. I don't remember the other Norton group.
Yes, and Norton Neighbors, Norton Connect,
Norton Connect,
Town of Norton.
Yeah. Get them out on all of those. We'll be in good, you know, we can cover it there.
That's the Peter channel.
Yes, on the Peter channel. Are there any service groups in town that are meeting with via Zoom? I mean, how is Rotary meeting? How is the American Legion meeting? You know, we can get on their agendas.
American Legion and the VFW are not currently meeting,
Okay.
nor is the Veterans Council. It's a few phone calls here and there to make things happen, but
Well,
date.
is it possible to ask them to get together for a Zoom call for, you know, to talk about this? You know, we can ask them to meet.
I can try. A lot of those folks are very limited on, you know,
on technology.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about using some banners in town and, you know, you have to make it, you know, so you can read it going by quick, but, you know, social media or cable channel or whatever information on the projects.
I was thinking too, maybe use the alert on the phone system, you know, to make people aware of the public Zoom meetings or what, you know, the vote, what's coming up, because most people won't care about design. They're only going to hear the dollar and how it impacts their taxes. So
Estelle, you're onto something there, because once you start telling people that, you know, we're going for a debt exclusion, you better believe there's going to be people who are going to want to attend a Zoom meeting.
Oh yeah, they'll be coming out in droves.
Yeah. So I think that once we have our print media together, then we schedule the community forums like we've always done with the schools, and they're typically well attended. You know, so I think that that's how this is going to go. You know, we invite these different groups to attend Zoom meetings that we're hosting,
Right.
Whether it's, you know, the couple that you just mentioned, Dinah, or all the sports organizations in town. You know, you have to reach out to all of these people to make sure they know to attend these community forums to be educated before a debt exclusion vote comes up.
I think, go ahead, Dinah.
I was going to say church groups. I know a lot of church groups are holding Zoom services, and I assume some of their social groups are still active, probably via Zoom. That's a good way to get out too.
I think also we need to use our websites. So if we decide that this is a 3 project 1 vote situation, then we need to have all of the information on the school website and all of the information on the town hall website.
Yep.
So that we can send people there, so people can go simply click on a website and have all of the information for all 3 projects right at their fingertips.
I think if we go to the Cable Media Center and do a presentation that's recorded there, and then use that as our basis, so people could go and maybe put a couple of ads in the paper and do all the social media stuff, that if you go to cable channel 15 or cable channel 9 or 98, that any one of those will have a presentation that the people can look at, because we can only bring the horses to water. We can't even bring them to the water until they realize that it's going to cost them $5 a gallon for the water. Then all of a sudden there's a big protest in town. They want to drink the water, but we're not ready to give it to them. I think that somehow we've got to do a media presentation at the cable TV center, have it ready so that people can access it, so that when Bob gets deluged with everybody wanting to buy him free donuts to get information, he can say, well, go to channel 15 or it'll be on there. They'll be running it. I mean, they run some of the softball games for like 5 or 6 weeks. There's no reason they can't run the presentation of this whole group of buildings and the fields together. And then if people have questions, then within the presentation, we can say, well, on March 12th, we'll be doing a Zoom call, or on, something else, and give them a timeline. But what's going to happen is you're not going to reach 80% of the people, and we all know that. I know the school committee does a very good job, but also there's a lot of people that watch the school committee meeting that pick up information, and I don't think there's that many outsiders watching this particular meeting until we give them the dollar and cents price of it. Then all of a sudden we become the notary publics of the town, that they want to know where their $35 million is going.
I think
And the
that'll be,
process of it.
excuse me, I think that'll be apparent after the meeting on the 14th, which will be watched by probably more people than we could assume. And once the decision is made, then we know how we proceed with this, with this PR. But I think, Jack, the meeting on the 14th is critical. You guys have got to you have to work your magic with your board.
I'll do my best.
I'll be Jack's backup. I won't stop asking the question until there's a vote.
I think also the town hall people are going to hate me, but they passed out the town reports, put them on a chair in the like mud closet of getting in. I don't know what you want to call it, but the intersanctum of the town hall. And once we have these books in our presentation, we can say, well, there's a pamphlet out there. If you want to go to town hall, pick up the pamphlet. It'll be in the anteroom, or whatever you want to call it, in the front of the town hall, so that you've given people. I know when we did the other public access things and we did them in the cafeteria and stuff, we got asked the same questions time and time again, and the same people showed up. So, I mean, we had a few new faces, but we didn't have a lot of older, faces there. And we never got, I don't remember more than 30 people coming to any one of those presentations. And of the 30, 20 were people who had already been there and seen it, or committee members or whatever. But I think doing the public cable access and then having them available, I mean, the town hall is the only place I can think of. If Bob wants to put 10 of them at the donut shop, we put them, at the post office in Chartley. I know I found some there, to make those available. The last pamphlet we put out had costs in it and everything else. So most of the bigger questions could get asked. And if people were deeply interested, they could somehow find us.
Jim,
Yes.
hello. The only problem with the town hall is closed right up tight. You can't even get in there with the virus. It's just like 1 or 2 people working in there. It's really, really tight. You'd have a hard time getting in there.
One thing you could do, we recently did a welcome center for the University of Rhode Island, and they have a box outside, it's outside, where they have pamphlets related to the university. And so that would be one thing. You could have a box mounted to the side of the building or on a post that could have pamphlets in it.
I know the person who put up the miniature library would not like it, but there is a miniature library box there that you could probably put 10 or 12 of them in. I wouldn't want to fill it up, but put 10 or 12 in, and once a week, I know Bob stops in there almost every day, or, I go by the town hall probably 3 times a week. Check that little library box, and, we can put them in there for people to take. I mean, there's places that people can pick them up.
Who
Like I
does
said,
manage
the
the
post offices
small,
and something
who
else.
manages the small library?
I think it was made by Girl Scouts. And people, donate books to it.
Right.
So
I was just
I
wondering
don't know
who
that
we could
anyone-
contact to see if they would mind if we piggybacked on their space. I wouldn't want to do it without asking them permission.
Dinah,
Yes, sir.
some of these restaurants that are pretty popular, you could ask the people who own the restaurants if you could leave some there. I mean, I go to a lot of restaurants in town, and there's all kinds of people walking in and out of there. It might be a good place to put them.
Okay.
Downtown, you got the bagel factory, you got Honeydew, you got a bunch of places that you could put that in. You got Kelly's, all places like that. There's people in there all day long.
Okay. I'm making it up.
Yeah.
If I could, I think one of the main things you need to explain is that, as it relates to town hall, is that the town hall project isn't just a town hall. It's building a municipal center. So there's lots of site costs that are far outside of just building a town hall that are going to be part of this project. And so you really, in my view, you really want people to understand that it's not just a town hall. You're trying to build a municipal center, and you're also addressing deficiencies that are presently there. When you think about the library, for example, and even just the parking lots and what's there now serving town hall. I mean, you're addressing problems beyond just town hall. How to make that point clear, I don't know, but the cost of the project is going to be higher than it would be if you were just building a town hall on a green site. Mm-hmm.
That's going to be important to put in the presentation as a strong bullet point, so people won't look at it, as you said, just as a town hall.
Yeah, it's really a municipal center. I mean, in terms of the site improvements, and think about septic, for example, right? I mean, right now there's on-site septic. We're going to be removing that system, making a whole new way of dealing with septic, all through this, through all new gravity feed down to a grinder pump, to the forced main. All that's work that's, a significant part of that is not town hall, right? It's about other buildings on site and addressing, existing that are there, for example, with an out-of-date on-site septic system,
Okay. I think we will have a good idea where we're going after the January 14th meeting. Glad you brought that up, Sherry. Thank you.
I have a question. It's Beth.
Mm-hmm.
Can we share these images that are in the booklet right now? Like, could I use it on my Facebook page and things like that?
We should probably give the Board of Selectmen an opportunity to see it first, I should think.
Okay.
Do you think, Dinah?
I think
Before it goes public, they should look at
I think it is correct to have the selectmen see it first.
But I'm excited.
It's only a month away. I think that was it on the Town Hall Community Center, Dinah.
Okay.
I don't know if there's any update, looking at the agenda, if there's any update on the building envelope study.
Brian did not give me anything when he said he couldn't attend this evening. So if that's all, then.
Well, so I don't think we have another meeting scheduled, so we need to do that.
Yes.
I just wanted to look at the schedule here.
Calendar. I have us. No, you're right. We do not have another meeting scheduled. I think that we should meet as soon after the 14th as possible.
Well, we do have the 18th, the final conceptual design.
We didn't have a meeting then. It was just a task and,
Yeah, and that is Martin Luther King Day. So could we schedule for a meeting on the 19th?
if you want to do it, we can meet then. It might be brief. I mean, certainly the February 11th is a meeting, right?
February 11th is definitely a meeting. But I'm thinking that we need to
We probably
talk
want
about our reaction to the joint board meeting.
to, okay. And that was the 14th.
That's the 14th.
Looking for a schedule here. So Tuesday, the 19th.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mike, the cost estimate should be done February 8th. We should probably meet and talk about that before the Board of Selectmen meeting, or the Select Board meeting.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, my goal, if we feel like we're, 95% there, is to get the cost estimator started within the next few days.
Yeah, I think that they should be ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So February 9th is a Tuesday.
February 9th is a Tuesday.
Want to meet then?
Sure.
Can we do it? February 9th is one of those Tuesdays that isn't great for me.
Okay.
Planning board meeting.
Monday, you're busy, Jim, right?
Correct.
So what time on Tuesday, Mike, or is it just bad for you in general?
Well, it can be all night.
Well,
We could do early. I mean, my meeting starts at 6:30. I can
we
certainly.
used to do 5 o'clock. Do we want to try at 5 o'clock on the 9th?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, so 5 p.m. on the 9th.
Right, yeah. So I'll just recap. January 19th,
6 o'clock.
Tuesday, 6 p.m.
Okay.
And then February 9th, Tuesday, 5 p.m. And then the select board meeting, Thursday, the February 11th. What time is that, Jack?
About 7 o'clock typically.
7 p.m. How are those for
Somebody just email that schedule out to all of us. I was trying to put it into the calendar and it just, you guys went too fast. I couldn't catch it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Can somebody just email those dates out?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any other business?
I just do want to say too, I have a bunch of capital meetings coming up as well. I just found out about today, and a cultural committee meeting that I'm on. So if anybody needs anything from the school side, the athletic complex has been voted on, so that's done. If you need any, information or whatever from me, if you could just give me a little bit of notice, just send me an email and I'll do my best to get it back to Dinah in time for your meetings in case I can't be there because of other meetings.
Gary, I got a question for you.
For me?
Yep. Did they lock that price down on the fields? Is that a solid price? It is. Okay.
So yeah, like Dr. Bayetta mentioned the last meeting, it has the contingency built in. So there is some fluctuation on how that can go depending on when we actually get there. Like he mentioned, other people that have used them, they've been $1 million less because they build in so many contingencies. So, but he also built in, if you remember him saying the septic for back there, because we're not sure if that's going to be a capital item or if it's going to be put through the project.
Yeah, he was talking around $500,000 for that. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So it's either like 5.6 million for the complex, something like that, or the 6.2 or whatever it was.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else to come before this board? Okay, so entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn. Jim Slattery.
I'll second it, Bob.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right. All right, everybody.
Good night, everyone. Good night, everyone.
Good night, and thank you, Mark. Thank you very much.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.